Mongolz need it most.
Well, I hope he's not thinking about that game right now, because he's got another overpass to play indeed. Mongolz CT side, and even odds down the middle as well. I think that is probably right. Wow, that was a 90 damage tap for Mazzino.
Every one of the pistol rounds that you watch out of the Mongolz, they'll have a shot like that. It's just wild. And now they're flashing through Monster, trying to fight for this, but it gets awkward. They don't quite get out unscathed. 910's been damaged and finished off now by Volt as this B-pop looks to come through for Gamerlegion. Azteca can't find any more than one, and Blitz has been brought down low. If he falls, that even opens up the option to go back. Into the doolies they'll go instead. It was 1 HP Techno, but he can't get out with more than one.
Kind of like last map felt like, you know, anti-Counter-Strike in that everyone was just pushing smokes on CT and T side all game. This round, everyone was blind. Everyone was team flashing. It's Gamerlegion who get out better, but it hurts because Mongolz called that like B flash push out of spawn. They get the 5-on-4 from the monster kill, but they want to commit, and they don't realize 3 players of Gamerlegion are hiding in the corner. The second flash to allow the trade blinds the Mongolz, and that just makes their life so much harder as Gamerlegion come charging through Monster with their own utility. Nade stack in middle, 910's got to run as they chase him down with the MAC-10s. Got Blitz and Con as well. Otherwise a B stack here for the Mongolz. And I love this call for Gamerlegion. They show their hand in middle, they push them back, then they run straight back to B. The issue is Mongolz haven't uprooted at all. In fact, they may be further convinced by the fact that Blitz has seen and heard nothing in middle to play a 4-man B hold. Info on short gains nothing though. They're even doing jump spots.
I think Chaos is even wondering, did they see me?
Yeah.
They jumped over, but they were looking down under the boost.
Maybe
so
on the mini-map after the fact.
Techno dead over at the barrels. Azteca finds one from his Deagle, but he's going to get slammed out. Here's the con flank arriving from Blitz. Even though the B site falls, right here on the extremities is Blitz and 910 with this Deagle Scout combo. And the Legion still got to fight for this, but they are sticking the landing on this B play. Dealing with 910 has alleviated so much pressure. And now, you know, there's no worry for Gamerlegion in this round. They can set up, they can play around that bomb, they can take space away over towards CT, they can play it together and look to swing at Monster. The options feel limitless here. And yet for Blitz, it's really only one conclusion, and that's that he's going to look to hold on to this Galil.
Yeah, it definitely does feel like this is a map that would suit very well to the capabilities of Gamerlegion, right? In having these really raw entry players and also having a very strong AWP on the CT side. You know, Acor wasn't really needed on T half of Inferno, but in the few rounds we got in that second half, he was rocking the AWP with style. And yeah, I mean, it's a map, the major, the Gamerlegion, obviously the old Gamerlegion, still the core of this one, looked just impeccable on. They only lost it in the grand final to Vitality. I mean, they beat, you know, Forza, Mals, OG, Fnatic, Monty, Apex. They were just smashing on this map. So it's a slight worry for the Mongolz, even if they've sort of proven themselves in overtime against Heroic. Gamerlegion are very comfortable to end here. And that's something to be said, Harry, considering we started this series by saying Mongolz, they've won the veto because they got Mirage Inferno. Well, their Inferno was a wash. That was not what we typically expect to see from the Mongolz on the map that made them famous.
And this round's just one that's pretty forgettable. Even this flank here, it doesn't carry the same weight it usually would because it's been heard. So up against the kind of cobbled together investment around the save, the couple of upgraded pistols, Gamerlegion won't even break a sweat. They won't even bat an eye the way of the Mongolz in this round. Azteca did obscure himself behind the fountain quite nicely. He's not going to get away with the gun as he's mercilessly hunted down by Acor. So Gamerlegion, they find the pistol, they stick the landing on the conversions. Now we've got a gun round to worry about. 910 will have that AWP from the get-go. And for the Mongol's sake, and for the fact that I think they've shown a really good face here in Cologne, I hope he can find his voice with it to open up this game.
Yeah.
Because you've seen what happens when he's switched on. You've seen what it brings to this team when they've got the AWPing powerhouse of 910 giving it his all.
Well, he's got the mid spawn, so
yeah, he's got every reason to find some impact in this round. And yet all he does is take a nade. How frustrating is that?
Yeah. Could have gone worse. Ooh, they even hit Keel's back. Great catch from J-Raz. Gamerlegion take water control and con. They have a lot of space in this round. 910 gets mollied at Divider. He chooses to go in front of it. Oh dear, and it almost burns him to a crisp. He couldn't pick an angle. They were late swinging mid with the flash. He thought they were coming out party, and this has gone all wrong there. Indecision, and it has essentially ended the round as Gamerlegion take that empty A site. Even if Mongolz try and flank up Con, Kioz is in his comfortable corner, again waiting. This is really awkward because not even the save is guaranteed.
No, and if you're Gamerlegion, you kind of have every reason to want to go hunting here, to want to remove some of these guns.
They are literally trapped. There is no exit route. There's a guy T-spawn, Kioz is short, and they're above you. Mongolz will suffer casualties here.
It's just about waiting for Gamerlegion. Wait for your A players to be in position and really put the squeeze on this B site.
Get that juice out of it. Oh, good exits, but... Oh my goodness.
Okay, they've done surprisingly well, but it might all be for naught. Acor,
he's out.
Just the man who, across these first few rounds, has been so dedicated to making them as punishing as physically possible. Getting out with another is monumental. It means that in this round, you know, if you'd saved on those 3 players, you would have had a buy here. They could have dropped guns over. You would have had util in play. Quite a decent bit to go off of. None of that now for the Mongolz. At best, it's going to be a partial buy around the 1 saved gun. So a very good hunt for Gamerlegion. And even though they lose quite a few bodies in the process, it's planning ahead. It's setting themselves up for milking this good start for as many T-side rounds as they can.
Oh, aggressive on short. Look at this AK being put to use. Kioz turns because he expects a flash. There is nothing of the sort. Techno just dry fights him. Confidence on this guy again. He's armed his teammate. 2 AKs in this round. Certainly not impossible. And both at the B site, although Techno's begun his rotation back upper. Gamerlegion going to group Monster. Zeno has a Molotov. And 910's even on a flank, but I fear he'll flank the wrong bomb site here. Unless this util goes out on B early, that smoke is good. Lets us tech across to the other side.
They're actually holding for the flank right now. Acor is holding for this.
Because of that smoke. Okay, it's now a... Oh, that's sick. It's a mind game now because Gamerlegion know they're walking into a stack, but they don't want to go. But they also have no other map control. Will they clear this? Yes.
It's all about just kind of wasting time for 910. And he's able to take up a bit of it. But yeah, they go back, they flush him out, and now suddenly the path is opened up to play this elsewhere, further afield, up into the top site, where it's only Techno with this Deagle. They shouldn't expect someone to be hanging around. So he will get out with 1. Now he doesn't have that element of surprise anymore. They know about him over at long. They look to isolate this, and they will deal with him. Not as clean as maybe you would have liked, but the kill's what matters there for Gamerlegion.
Oh, no.
And so they'll pick it up past that point. It all pans out for the GL crew.
And they're screaming them down as well. Trying to get in their heads early in this 3rd and final map, this elimination game. What a clutch round for Gamerlegion. And I've really enjoyed watching Neelan's calls on this T side. They really don't doubt themselves, do they? He's just been very decisive. When he sees a gap, he takes it. It was the same on Inferno. Sure, a lot of that would have been made easy by Kioz, just getting very clean entries on the B-bomb site. But you never saw Gamerlegion doubt themselves or go for these late rotates or run into stacks, you know, willy-nilly. They really, you know, believed in the calls.
And I think here is where you're actually going to get fantastic, on Overpass is where you're going to get fantastic mileage out of Neil, and he's a fan of this one, man. Even back in, you know, the K23 team of old, this was one that squad used to play a hell of a lot.
Yes,
so
true.
It's always been the vibe that Neelan in particular feels very comfortable with the calls on Overpass. 910 long aggro going to meet this AWP, and it's Acor to win that. Not the start for the Mongolz AWPer here that you wanted. It feels like he's really struggled to live up to the expectations set since the start of this series. So with him gone, A defense had to fall to someone else, and there's kind of no accounting for that if you're blitz. The flash was perfect. Volt has to play that all on a timing spray.
He just knows where he's going to get swung from. He had time to dodge the flash, but he just said, no, I'm just going to shoot exactly where I'm getting peeked from, and I don't care about your flashbang. That's some real confidence for Volt.
Look at these mid-round manipulations. It's so nice. They've just pulled the double rotate over towards A, and that's when gamerlegion look to move into this B site. Only one man there. The rest of the gang are arriving for the Mongolz. They are going to be here to defend the site, and with so little time left, there's still a world where they could hope to win this, but not today. Not as Acor lights up that first man in. Azteca with the reply, and now they're not on the bomb. Isaac wins it with a gunfight. Seals it with a kiss, and that's 6-0 for gamerlegion. Flawless on their T side to open.
That felt like one of those plants that you think you've stuck, and then you get off at last second. Like, he didn't try and jump off when the monster player got fought, but then the swing comes through the smoke, and Isaac just cancels and goes hunting. Does save the day. Again, we saw a very similar round for Isaac in a 1v2 back on the A side of Inferno, but he wins them both. Doesn't matter how close it comes, as long as gamerlegion keep it clean. 6-0. Again, not letting Mongolz in, as was the start of the previous map. I love the balls on that call for Volt to just not even, you know, you can dodge the flash, you can reposition, but he just wants the kill, and it's essentially guaranteed. This is looking like a threatening squad after all. There were definitely doubts, there were definitely questions as to gamerlegion coming into this tournament. And with the Mongolz sailing, you know, so high in their previous match against Heroic, it felt like they were good for this one, but they are getting taught a lesson.
Yeah, and you know, I think this is where, you know, you do have to factor in the fact that the kind of biggest and best opportunity the Mongolz have had versus top, and I mean, you know, genuine top, potential even favorites to win events in Heroic, right? Like, one of their best chances was on this map, and it got stolen away. And now you must feel that sinking feeling of, oh my god, is it gonna happen again? Because this time, it's far more one-sided. By the time we roll around to Overpass, gamerlegion, even in this round where they go a man down early, where it felt like finally the Mongolz had the start they were looking for, there's just this immediate reply from Acor that it almost felt like there was no accounting for, right? They tried to trade that. They did everything they could to minimize the impact he finds.
Acor's laughing while he rotates. I mean, that was sickening. That second shot, he should not be alive. The punish felt inevitable. And with Isaac in connector as well, Mazzino, as he attempts to rotate back to A, when they know they're up long, he's going to get backstabbed by Isaac, you'd think. So, positionally, this is glorious for gamerlegion. 9-10, it's either kill. Oh, no, he's just dropped. The timing, it's so awkward. 20 seconds now, he knows the mistake he's made. And now Isaac begins to flank the toilet player. That spray had to land for more than one. He's smoked off right now. Isaac is running. They don't know about the bomb. It's dropped. Isaac, he can't save this 1v3. No time for it, and the flank comes through. Oh, that was damn close, but he didn't clear the toilets. And it comes back to bite gamerlegion, putting Mongolz finally on the board.
Yeah, finally breaking into the game. 7 rounds in on the CT side is so far from ideal, but you're happy that you've stemmed the bleeding here. The Mongolz need to start chaining some rounds together, because this is already a great T side put forward on numbers alone from gamerlegion. Not to say they would be happy if they don't get any more from this point onward, but if you were looking at it as just a scoreline, this is already where you want to find yourself. And look at these shots from Acor, man. This guy is feeling it. That's wild.
He's not on his screen.
We're playing it in slow-mo and he's not even there.
He's not on his screen. Physically not. Physically, yeah. That's why he was running through T-spawn looking like that. Oh. Despicable round for Acor, but it's not enough. The rotate, it felt like it was just, you know, timed well enough for gamerlegion, but they don't consider toilets. 9-10 with another AWP, plays it passive this time. Not in the firing line of the long hold or the divider molly. Mongolz give them all of middle. Gamerlegion say, thank you. Thank you very much. We'll walk that all the way. The snake up the bathroom. They're in the pipes.
So even though there's util to slow this push down, they're kind of already past the point that util looks to affect. So this is a really dangerous look of a round for the Mongols. Oh my goodness. They've got no idea. They've got no clue. They didn't know they could be this close.
Team
and
flash.
So Volt able to manipulate himself around the dice box. Acorn nailing them as they rotate up into a lost top site. This should be a done deal. On positions alone, you can just fall back, go through the motions, play the bomb plant here. They don't even have to fight, and yet Gamerlegion still are. Really just wanting to rub salt in the wound. Will give up a couple of chances here at 1v1s for Azteca, but he can't win more than the first.
And that's what I mean the other round when I said, you know, when Nealon finds the space and wants to make it cool, they just commit with it. They never doubt it. They never overthink it. Like, oh, they're giving us all of, you know, banana, let's just take it. And they walk the entire way. They realize last second, okay, he's flashed from dice. That means there's a long player because he's flashing long, and that means there's a dice player. Gamerlegion suddenly have all the info. They've never been spotted. They're front bath, and then they just run. And sure, it's you know, a great round. It could have been better for 9-10, but Azteca throws the flash up from CT, and that's the kind of flash that you're not asking if your teammate wants it, you're just throwing it, and he gets full blinded and can't double kill. The double kill is the only way to win the round, or at least put his team in position to do so. So yeah, Mongolz are getting flustered. They even so, they should have at least once jump checked or spotted short, had some info. Again, they just walk out and they catch Mongolz completely out of position. The pace of some of these rounds in this series for Gamerlegion on their T sides has been the way in. If you forget the first half of Mirage, this is an incredible series for Gamerlegion. And you wonder what that first map would have been if they started T side. Because man, they've had the moves. Another triple entry round for Kioz.
And yeah, I mean, we talked about it coming into this, right? Overpass has always been a map where, as a leader, Nealon has felt super comfortable. His other outings, such as with K23 or more recently, Eugene's looked to pull it into their pools. He always has. And, you know, I mean, even when you think kind of before he transitioned over into these international affairs, right, where he was playing kind of within the CIS region, it was the case that, you know, certain maps kind of become tied to a region somewhat. And Overpass has always been that. So he's always had to be good at this. He's always had to be prepped for this. And he's got a lot of ideas here. And that's reflecting in how they're playing, man. Like I was saying, all the calls are so decisive. There's a lot of speed on this T side. That's not super common for an Overpass T side, right? Where it is a lot of defaulting. It's a lot of waiting and seeing what sort of ground the CTs look to take. Well, actually, a lot of these rounds have been pretty fast. They have just been exploiting gaps, little holes that are being found, and using that to devastating effectiveness. The Mongols just feel lost right now. Like they don't even have a read over this game yet. And we're deep in it now, right? You can't say it's early days anymore. You can't say it's early doors now. It was already a great T side, and it's only getting better. And if this is how the journey ends for the Mongols here in Cologne, that's sad. That is a sad way for it to go.
After the heights they reached, right? To think that they were 3 kills, 2 kills even, from knocking Heroic to the lower bracket on this very map. And now they sit 1-8. Sure, it's a great learning experience once again for a squad that don't get a lot of opportunity in Europe, come here from time to time, maybe 3-4 times a season. And, you know, the international land debut for some of these younger guys as well. In Mizzino and 9-10. Certainly experiences they can make the most of, but you'll always have that little pain in the back of your brain saying, could have been more. Gamerlegion, can they keep this as tight as they have been on this T side? Right now the time is the big problem, but there's only 2 CTs playing lower. Blitz has begun to rotate back up. The AWP is nowhere to be seen, and there's barely any blocking utility. Gamerlegion, a good entry can go far.
Yeah, this is an awkward push for Techno. He's found through the smoke. Blitz and Azteca get a kill in tandem with one another, and now the bomb is away from Gamerlegion over here in B. Azteca's job done in the round as Nealon domes him on the entry. That's going to facilitate a bomb plant. 9-10, that's close, but close is not going to cut it here. You need perfection. And with nothing being offered, they're going to juggle the AWP onto Blitz, trying to swing out now. And while he delivers that trade, it's not enough to entice you back into this retake, surely. A repositioning of the heavens. He's going to see if they give him any reason to go for this round. But when that's not provided, this AWP will be saved, and the scoreline, the margin between these teams continues to grow.
Acor has just been a tank today, hasn't he? 13-3 on this AWP. On the T side of Overpass, no less. And impactful kills when they're coming in. This time it's Nealon, the captain, again getting a triple entry into B. Smoke spammed his start and a very crucial shot here.
And that's the thing, man. You know, these BO3s, when it's all on the line, when you've got to leave it all out there, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. A strong start is great. It can tee you up. It can put you in the right direction, but it's not a strong start that wins you a series. Yeah. It's finishing strong. And Acor has grown across this series. He has carried more and more impact across this series. When you look at his AWPing counterpart on the other side, 9-10 felt invincible in the first map. But past that point, he has struggled to come even close to replicating that. I don't think you need him to go on these crazy multi-kill rounds, but you need him to just every now and again give you that opener, give you that pressure, that 5v4 that makes a round happen, that one kill that changes the outcome of a round, and that's been missing.
Yeah, just consistent, output. We've not had that at all. The turn is so awkward for Azteca. And they're going to molly out the man in con as well. Mazzino, ooh, it's a short molly. Gets in the corner. I think he might have been spotted there. Acor's good for it. 4-on-3. They can just go up A right now. There's no one even in the bomb site. And will Mongolz live to regret that? Kios, if he dies to this AWP, they just escalate and go A. But they won't even take a casualty prior to it. He walks up con, 2 CTs here, need another Deeg, won't even fire, and Gamerlegion look like they've got a 10th.
Yeah, they never saw Techno cross here, but I just don't envision a world where this isn't cleared, this isn't checked. He does well to get out with a kill and a dink down onto Kios, but that will never set Blitz up to even gesture up towards this side of the map. He is out of there, saving the AWP again. Gamerlegion, a statement on this T side of Overpass.
Very difficult map to get away with T sides, but this is, as I said, was their major run map. Back at the major, they won 60% of their rounds on the T side, as in 60% of 1 rounds Gamerlegion found on Overpass were T rounds. That's incredible. That is against the grain. And they're doing it again with a new captain, new firepower.
Hey, even in that round there with the force buy, not force buy, with the saved gun rather, usually, right, the kind of the mantra that you see be pretty pervasive nowadays is that the gun should be trying to challenge, should be trying to find these openers, right? But when you look at how Blitz played it in that round, it was pretty safe. He was holding like a close short angle for someone to be swinging into the B site. He wasn't hyper involved on that AWP out of the gate. It was the pistols playing first, and largely, at least in like top levels of EUCS, they've kind of moved away from that, right? And it's a lot more focus is put on those rifles trying to open and then getting juggled around and arming teammates. So even these little choices in rounds that feel like you were never meant to win, feel like there could have been other ways to play it for the Mongols. This scoreline continues to grow between them and gamerlegion. And already you're left with this question of, you know, is there any fixing this? Is there any turning this around, or is it already too far gone?
It's felt pretty lifeless, hasn't it? They're going to try and make an aggressive move. This is nice. Flashes dodge, but Volt just goes in and clears it anyway. It's traded by the Orb. They're out to his left. He seems to consider it. Volt swinging close. Nice shot. And a 4-on-3. We've not had these opportunities for Mongolz, to be fair, in advantages where they get to reset. So let's see what they make of this. Will they go one step too far? Dangerous peek for Blitz. He almost gets punished from the con side, but he gets out with his life. 4-on-2 now. Batten down the hatches. Tighten it up. Because gamerlegion have their two top performers trying to clutch back this round.
The re-aggro out of Hasteka right now is nice to give info that mid's cleared, but the rotate out of 910 won't happen till he clears deep middle. That might never come to matter if Techno could just farm them up on his lonesome down on B. And so that's more like it. That round was started with 910's AWP, finished by Techno down on the B site with his rifle. It looks a little prettier there for the Mongolz as they finally get their second round. But I just don't know if that's going to slow gamerlegion's roll. You know, I think with this sort of T side already, earlier on when they were 6 rounds up, I said, you know, they could lose every other round in the half, and on scoreline alone, it would still be good at 6. Now they're on 10. I think now even if they did lose them all, they go, yeah, we're fine with that. We're fine with that every damn day. This is a gift of a game for them.
Wait and see if Aiko buys the Orb. What kind of pace are we talking about in this next round? Is it a set piece, or will he just be allowed to roam? And with the game he's having, give him all the freedom in the world.
He had a pretty good spawn to challenge something, but it looks like he got caught on some teammates leaving spawn, so just going to drop into com with it.
Again, aggressive in mid. I like that they're trying it, but they've been spotted crossing. This is now very uncomfortable for Blitz. Oh, turning from the flash.
Okay, couple of kills coming out for the Mongolz. Everywhere they go and take these 1v1s, they win them, and 910 even gets involved right near the end. It's just Acor left. And this guy's been fantastic, but a 1v5 with no presence when you're boxed in at T-Ramp at the opener of the round. 1v5 in seconds. Yeah, that one was never going to happen.
Well, even if gamerlegion won't be upset at it necessarily, the Mongolz are hunting for those 5 aforementioned rounds, Harry. And they might have a really good shot at it. We don't have money here for gamerlegion. Orb costs a pretty penny. All they're going to have is this AK on Acor, so it's going to have to be an eco for round 15. Mongolz given a staging platform here.
Oh, he had good spawn. He's right at the front of the pack as Acor, running that AK through the connector. Trying to play with a bit of pace. This is what we were talking about earlier on, right? Letting the rifle play first. They're going to have a pistol go out, and, well, that rifle, second man in, but first to fall, Mazzino cleans up over in middle. So you see the idea for gamerlegion, but snuffed out in their prime, locked out of that round. Mazzino goes on a tear.
All right, not a bad round for Mazzino at all. Mostly pistols, though. Let's see if Mongolz can sweeten the deal and find 5 at the end of the half. Even so, this has been a day of T-sides for gamerlegion.
I think we should have a pretty brawly round on our hands, because it's one where, as a result of like how gamerlegion shuffled the cash around, having that hero AK in the last round, Kioz has dropped an AWP over. That means he's going to have no util. Acor doesn't have any util. Isaac's kind of lacking the money, so he's probably not going to have any util either. You can see a bit of a theme here, right? 3 players, no utility. And then for Volt and Neelan, it's smoke each, molly and a flash. So I'm expecting a pretty brawly one here that's very weighted around these initial gunfights. This is a great opportunity for the Mongolz at least to pick up 5. Forcing gamerlegion to make concessions such as this heading into round 15.
The last spurt of energy here for Mongolz at the end of the half. Double molly in mid as well. Actually gets double smoked. gamerlegion use a lot of their limited resources just to get quick long control. So they want to beat the timings here of the Mongolz. This is going to be, you said a brawly round, it certainly looks like it, a very early exec into this A-bomb site. 9-10 needs to scope up right now as they're getting on the angle, but that is a phenomenal opener for Acor. They're just going to run and gun right in, and there is no one here yet. Mazzino with a big one, but he will die to the flank. Isaac needs two. Techno disallows it, but the A player is gone in the meantime, meaning Mongolz are retaking for round 15.
Acor puts the pep in their step, but just leaving this angle at an awkward time. Tries to get back on it, and Techno is eliminated. Acor, what a hero of round 15, and what a hero of this series this guy has been with his AWP work.
Pretty sour end at the end of this evening.
Yeah, now embarking on their T side and a tall task ahead of them. This has got to be something magical off the rip if the Mongolz want to grind away back into the series. They do open this round with a double. Nealon is desperately asking for help as he's reduced to 1 HP inside of this B site, and it arrives just in the nick of time. Kios has saved his life. Nealon's allowed to try be involved here, but his teammates fall like flies, and now it is just Kios left standing. They're swinging him from the side of the Mongolz. They'll go peeking together, and they don't give him any room to get set up to attempt that clutch.
Hey, Mongolz coming with some pep in their step. I respect the pistol round. Full B rush, some nice supporting utility, a late player splitting short as well, and they completely catch gamerlegion off guard. So, you know, leaving nothing unsaid to end this series, certainly, with a pistol round like that. And that changes the game, because you know immediately gamerlegion are telling themselves, okay, we've got to stay full focus here, because Mongolz are not going out of this game quietly.
Acor's not been the guy you want to run into in this game, but this round they will open up onto him. That scout cut loose over in middle. Double con setup. And one man back over towards the long toilets. This is a complimentary hold if the Mongolz try walking it up mid.
Kios gets shadow advantage here unless they flash him. Doesn't look like there'll be a flash, so you need to trade at worst case. Here's the warning, and Kios nails it. Oh, this is the very scary repeats, wiggling and jiggling into long bar. Nealon tries to chase, but then they late trade him. This is a nice mid clear for Mongolz. The timings look very good. But so does that Deagle. 2-on-3 now. Guns available. Vault's in no hurry.
This could get weird. Isaac's already behind Dice, and he's playing an unorthodox angle because he knows mid is clear. That frees up this position that normally you don't have to worry about. On the T side, you don't ever have to clear it like this. But Isaac making it work. Low on health. Oh, not quite run down, though. And still very much fighting back. Isaac has offered something up to gamerlegion here with that double. Blitz looking for him up over the dice box, but nothing's being offered, nothing's being gained. He tries to commit to the plant, and they'll move in to silence him. Isaac, the one that got away at 3 HP, maybe has robbed the Mongolz of any hope of coming back here.
That is unbelievable. The second kill he gets on Dice when he's getting chased at on 3 health, and he just first bullets that player. And then Blitz, we crown him as the smartest guy on the Mongolz, the chess grandmaster, the captain of this team. He makes a very curious decision, drops off, sticks the bomb, and then just gets walked on. Because what else is Isaac going to do in that position? Calls his bluff completely. And that is a nightmare round to lose for Mongolz. Wind sucked out of their sails.
Oh, and what a roller coaster of emotions you're going through if you're the Mongolz, man. Your heart's beating 1,000 beats a second. Well, that's a bit far. Keka nailed over in mid. It's a minute, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here we are. Vault and Nealon farming up, but hang on a second, because these pistols have found a way to make it interesting. Can the Mongolz cook up a reply? They've spotted Kios out the connector, and they'll win it out.
Mazzino's
now just Isaac left standing. And is he already bowing out of this one? Is he already conceding and giving it to them?
Looks like it. Hoping either the bomb's left in spawn or they're resetting, or just straight up accepting his fate. They get that plant, and that confirms everything he already knows. This is a 6th round. Okay. Gamerlegion can't celebrate for too long off of that sickening 4-spy win. The Mongolz, even hunting. I'd be scared if I were them.
Still got fight left in them. Okay, this does make it more intriguing that we enter the 4-spy wars to open up this second half. You know, it could have been the case that the Mongols just roll over and die if they lose that round. Suddenly, you know, there's no room to build back into this one. And you're still a ways off of that if you're the Mongols, but you've at least taken the necessary steps for self-preservation here. Gamerlegion are going to look to meet them halfway with the 4-spies continuing. That's going to keep going till someone wins 2 in a row. Only worry is for the Mongols is, as we've seen from some of these back and forth starts, these can keep up for a surprisingly long amount of time.
Yeah, Gamerlegion will take that. Happy with that every day of the week. But for Mongolz, who've now called in their final timeout, this will have to be their best T side ever on Overpass if they are going to stay in the tournament and eliminate Gamerlegion. Do they really have it in them when their backs are this far up against the wall, against the core of the major finalists? Easy to overlook this team after they lose Shui and IEM, but there's still some potent pieces inside of this roster. They're displaying that today. Akor on his Deagle, 2 rifles. Even these rounds can be threatening. Mazzino's had a late recovery into this 3rd map. 16-year-old has hit some fantastic shots towards the end of CT side and the start of T. He's got to be very careful though. Look to the sky because there's some boosts going on. This is an extremely passive default round for the Mongols. And unfortunately for him, Isaac is ready, and that's a great little trick to pull out in a round like this.
The fact that they're going to go take the space is massive. Yeah. Now, they haven't just got an extra gun out of this. They know that no one else is outside a monster. Sure, the way you're confirming that is, do I die pushing this? But that felt like a risk worth taking, especially when the boosted player never got an inkling that anyone else was over there.
Yeah, that looked like a clear solo defaulter, and Mongolz don't want to go back and re-clear that space. So now they are going into a 4-on-4 on the A site. Good luck.
We might not be done with the 4-spy wars. We might not be done with this back and forth start to the second half. Wow. The Mongols, they've dealt with that first man, but there's even more where that came from. As mentioned, they're walking into the stack here, dealing with it aptly to open. That is such an awkward flash. Leaves Isaac so blind, crouched in the Molotov, and almost goes unchecked for a moment there. Nealon arriving late from B, just smoked off. They don't want to give him the room or a justification to even try this round. The Mongols are looking for that 2 in a row so they can start this streak and start the comeback here on their T side of Overpass. And it looks like they've done enough to get it.
Yeah, impressive to win this round when you consider the context of going 4-on-5 down, giving a gun over to Gamerlegion, 3 rifles, loads of util, and you go into a 4-man stack on A and they barely take a dent. So that's a surprisingly clean round for the Mongols here when all is said and done. But it was meant to be theirs from the outset. So 3-1 in this half right now are the Mongols. And finally, Gamerlegion will have to surrender and take a full eco.
It's going to be 3 in a row for the Mongols before that next buy round comes in. And, you know, with each step closer they get, the more they're going to start to believe, and the more that the kind of memories that we talk about that felt haunting earlier on, they become like your whole reason for being, your whole drive to stick the landing this time around on Overpass. You don't want to repeat that sinking feeling from last time. In fact, you know just how bad it is, and so you want to do anything you can to avoid it. Everyone's going to give it their all here. Once again, just one of these default rounds for the Mongols. They're waiting to see if anything's afforded to them from gamerlegion's side. Slowly but surely gaining real estate over towards long, and there's a kill to open up. Zeno will get rewarded for his patience this time at the barrels. And that's even the gun removed now as well.
Not bad.
He lobbed a nade at it too, just to try and displace the weapon. I wonder if it's worked.
I think Isaac sees it. Though this is where players often ping the guns, right? Because they pop up, and sometimes we see that on our HUD as well. So maybe he has completely lost this gun. Nice grenade from Zeno. I know J-Raz is scrambling. Oh, he nailed it as well. Yeah, it's nowhere near. Great grenade.
It landed in front of the barrels. The AK flew. So that is irretrievable. Great stuff from this B lurk Adam Zeno.
And this round is now unsavable as a result. There's nothing to even be interested in. He's thrown the gun out. Acor is going to go moving. And it was on these stairs. So it's now literally thrown out of the map.
All right, there, man. This is
trying hard, man. Is this viable, Harry? Is this a viable comeback from 11-4 down?
Well, you know, any comeback's viable. I'll tell you that to open up with. But
every game
secondly,
is winnable.
I just there's certainly some win conditions that have to be met, right? I think you have to keep gamerlegion in a vulnerable spot in that position where every round they lose feels like a 2-for-1 for as long as you can. And so what that means is you know, gamerlegion are probably going to win a round during a comeback here if you look to embark upon one. You just want to make sure the rounds are expensive at least, right? To try and nullify that residual money. You don't want to have to break through 2 full buy rounds if you're the Mongols here. So that's going to be their first challenge. Their second is going to be 9-10 in some of these head-to-heads versus Acor. He's got to start winning some of those out. But if he does, and then you start to have, you know, the presence of someone like Mazzino over towards B, finding his footing on the lurks a little bit, right? Finding impact there, applying some pressure that gamerlegion haven't really had to worry about on the extremity. There's some legs to this.
Acor wants to go for a short pick, it looks like. They have mollied it, but he still looks interested in just setting up close short with the AWP. Consider how efficient he was on T-side AWPing on this map. I can't wait to see what he's got on the more favored of two. Nice angle as well. Very safe position to get a kill and get out. He hits the tag. Better than nothing. Oh, that's a disaster. Nealon doesn't know. Oh, maybe he heard the jump up. He just completely repositions. Yeah, they heard the jump up there. If Mazzino walked a little further back, he might have had that kill. Instead, gamerlegion make a play. They molly, they nade, and they aggress to find him.
That's a very cool, like, you know, on-the-fly move to make. You know that Mazzino's been lurking outside of B a lot in these rounds, so when they see him, when they have the verifiable info that he's short and they hear that tag on the molly, they go, okay, let's dedicate all 3 of us to getting this 1 kill. That there's no way he can make that too pretty if we make his life miserable with the util, and that's exactly what happens. He's left looking like a bit of a fool as he kind of manipulated around the short side. And now it tees gamerlegion up in this 5v4. They worked hard for that opening pick. Now they've got to finish off the rest of the round. And Techno 4K does not want to make it easy for them. Out from the long side, things are getting very chaotic as Nealon, boxed into the corner, is cut down on the entry. And gamerlegion, even though they start this round 5v4, even though they work hard for that opening pick, it is the only enemy they will even see. As that A site falls into the hands of the Mongols, they're left saving, and this gap continues to close up.
Just really efficient util on that hit as well. Most of that was just thrown on the fly from the long entrance. A great flashbang to enable Hasteka too. And we saw similar rounds in Mongolz CT side where they didn't even realize how close gamerlegion got up through Banana for free. Mongols just did the same thing. They walked the entire way, and it's such a passive setup that, you know, no one had any inkling, any information. And you find out the hard way. You find out when it's too late. And that's a dangerous starting B with the AWP. Mongolz, they hear that shot. That's the first thing they hear in the round, and they just start speeding up on top site. So Akar avoided. He'll have to save it and put it to use here.
gamerlegion have called in their last
Oh my
point.
goodness.
So, you know, both squads
Stressful.
having been very liberal with these, having called them in early to try and influence the early game. That is going to leave them high and dry as this continues on.
No brakes on this train. This is the last stop. Make sure you have all your belongings a little half by, or rather eco, round this save. They drop an MP9. They want to make something of this round. You can't deny the tide feels like it is changing. It is coming in here for the Mongolz. An 11-4 half, a pistol that felt inconsequential after they lost to a 4 spy, but they've recovered it very well since. Oh, cheeky.
Try and boost
They've
up.
had so many boosts.
Yeah.
All mollied though. Whatever play you wanted, it's denied. And every time gamerlegion have had these low econ rounds, they have made the most of the boosts, the tricks, the ways to grab a 5-on-4. Akar is still looking hungry in middle. And doing this so late in the round. They shouldn't have been ready for it, but Techno, hyper aware, removes that AWP in no man's land.
Yeah, that's kind of frustrating for gamerlegion. They don't even get to play with that toy again. It's gone. The bullies have taken it. Neelan down in the
Nice
connector.
shot.
He's going to arm himself. He's going to go about being self-sufficient here. Deals with Azteca, and now he's carved a path, getting all this info on the rotate. You know, these were like ballsy calls out of Neelan. He just dove out the door. No thought process to whether or not short was clear, but he confirms it by making that decision. And so now they know this is building into the A play. They suspect that much. They'll keep 3 strong over on upper.
Now, smoke isn't the end of the world. It actually lets Blitz get closer to join his team, and he may clear the toilet out first. He needs this kill, or Volt possesses a serious threat. Again, Kiosk uses his dice position that was so nice for Isaac, the latter of which is dead. Needed through the smoke, and it's up to a 1v1 with the AWPer. He knows exactly what he's up against, but he can't hit the shot. One deagle tag will do it, but he sticks with the AWP, and he closes the round. A clutch for 9-10, like it's Mirage all over again. The Mongolz continue to fight back on the brink of elimination.
But this time, it's not a Mirage, man. It's not an Oasis. This is real. This is tangible. He's picking up clutches once more. That was what proved to be so fruitful for the Mongolz earlier on. That was the quality that 9-10 was lacking as this series picked up. If you start having him win a couple more impact rounds like that one, this really has legs on it now. And once more, this is a round where the Mongolz walk into the stack. That was a full lean over towards the upper site because they had the info that B was clear. And in spite of that, they come out with the round.
I've got a little tech pause here, FPS bug, so some restarts coming through, but we'll be back on as soon as you know it. This is getting harrowing for gamerlegion.
And you're almost feeling like the change, right? Akor's trying to make these same heroic plays that have been winning rounds for gamerlegion up until this point, but now they're getting stifled. So your stars are struggling to find the same level of impact, while simultaneously it feels like the Mongolz are waking up. The whole vibe in the server has changed.
This has just been such an unbelievably T-sided series, right? Like 2 12-3 first halves on T-sides from either team. Going into Overpass, it's still 11 rounds in the first half on T-side for gamerlegion. And it felt like Mongolz were never going to repeat that or even one-up it as they must. But right now, sky's the limit. This game has given us everything.
I'm seeing everyone's back in the server now. Some restarts are required, but it feels like everything's ready to pick back up. So right back in we go. 12-10 is the score if you're just tuning in a third map in a series where both maps that have been played up until this point have been very one-sided, but this third is down to the wire. This third is really picking up some speed. 5 in a row for the Mongols, and they're looking to make it 6 here and now. gamerlegion, they're going to have that AWP in Akor's hands again, but these last few rounds where he's tried to be involved early, he's not quite found that impact that we hoped for. He had the mid spawn again, doesn't elect to try it. Instead, it's just util out in mid. He's going to play a more passive line with the AWP.
A1S finds good spam onto Blitz. gamerlegion start by attempting to whittle down, throwing nades, spamming smoke, spamming the Condor. Mongolz leave Mazzino alone towards B. And they've been so late on these mid takes, but it's been fine. However, in this round, with Akor playing this passive, he's still got a good amount of space to take a couple shots and then return to the A bomb site. They're trying to jump spot long right now. They are looking for Akor. That is the goal. Where is this AWP? They're going to find him very late in the round, it feels like. This could be the chance for an Akor pop-off moment if he stays on top site. Replenishing monster and hanging around in CT. He's playing rotation. But they are still scared of B. They've seen nothing topside. 30 seconds, Volt's alone. Smoke starting to come in. That will call him back.
Yeah, it's this lurk smoke over towards A. Lets them walk up, but they've not left themselves with a lot of time, have the Mongols. They needed an opener, and 9-10 has provided it. There's that kill that kickstarts the site take. Very small margins for error here if you're the Mongols. One kill on the planter could have been enough, but Techno doesn't let them in. And so this is a round played down to the wire. gamerlegion needed one kill in the right place on the right man, but they couldn't find it. And so the Mongols, feeling some comfort, playing to the extremities of the clock here, run down the A play, and once more it's signposted by 9-10 delivering on that AWP.
Yeah, that's a round where everything has to go right in order for you to win it when you play it that late with no contact. And man, they hit the absolute perfect shots at the perfect time to win the round. And it was so quiet on A. gamerlegion thought it was a monster hit. They thought there were 4 or 5 players sitting outside monster. Akor drops in, and they're playing 4B with the AWP on pillar as well. They are so ready for the B rush late in that round, but it's a 50-50 and they read it wrong, and Mongolz just explode into that A bomb site. Great covering AWP shot for 9-10 on that long swing. This is the kill that unravels the round.
And this almost feels like, maybe Neelan's feeling like maybe that they were giving away too much in the early round, too much in the early game. These last few times they've tried the aggro peaks, it's come up in favor of the opposition, right? So they try to go more passive, but then you see the drawback of that. They didn't have the info. They didn't have these usual saving graces of, short's clear or monster's clear. They hadn't seen contact outside of A.
Not a huge detail, but Neelan throws his smoke over this wall into B at the start of the round. Like, he literally G's the smoke, so they have it. You can see it on the minimap. They did triple nades, and it's blown the smoke into the water. I mean, it's not a massive detail, but it's something that gamerlegion are going to be looking for probably at some point. And I don't know if they can find it. Maybe it has been picked up now. I don't see it. But that's even cool to see Neelan giving the B players more utility to allow this AAA setup. They've got 3 in toilets. This is a nice move by gamerlegion, but it's only lurkers they'll find. And Azteca wants to walk right by it. He's got to get through Neelan first. Again, shadow advantage. Keels nails this last time, and he does it again. Nice shots. gamerlegion find both their top side kills, and the bomb's coming in, but it's doubting it. Back to B.
And on all this doubt, having to go back with the bomb, these decisions being made to regroup outside of B. If this hit could have came through instantaneously upon learning about the presence of players in toilet.
What?
Okay. Isaac and Akor don't seem to care about the intent of this B play. Don't seem to care about being tagged by the util in the smoke. They win both their fights, and 9-10's left clutching at straws in this round.
Going for damage.
Try to take some players out of it right near the end, leaving it down to the wire. He'll just get nailed to a post. Isaac donning that AWP since Akor's demise. gamerlegion, they break this streak that the Mongols embarked upon to begin this second half. That's 6 in a row, now a memory as gamerlegion post their first in quite some time.
I like that. They don't believe Mongolz have the balls to go for a B rush this late in the game, so they go for a really static, lack of information, but high number A stack. Just 3 in toilets playing crossfires, knowing the Mongolz will walk right into them, and that's exactly what they do. Oh, that's awkward for akel. You would have bet your house on him hitting the shot in con, but he goes for an early pick and he misses. And he gets found by Azteca. Volt hears these steps. He needs to take the kill now, and he does. A huge response for gamerlegion to keep them even.
And no one was nearby to trade or punish that over towards long. It's the one, problem of that tree position is you are very out there. And if there was a second player nearby, Volt could have been punished. Instead, he's been allowed to fall back into the toilets here. Been allowed to hang around, flashed out to try and escape long. That leaves him in the prying eyes of 910's AWP. It looked like he wanted to leave. That flash was to try and get him back from long, but he just gives it a look in, just to go for the info. That might have made life very difficult for gamerlegion here. Nealon with akel's AWP dropped down in the connector earlier on. He was quick to retrieve it. Now stands as one of the only lines of defense of this A site. It's him and Isaac who have got to put on a show. And 910 opening up, Nealon around this smoke. Oh! Lands the tag. 910's injured. He's wounded. Backing off with the AWP. Is there a way back into this for gamerlegion? Could this be where they look to pull ahead right near the close? Kios throwing in supportive flashes, hoping that gives Nealon a leg up. Azteca still fixated on this flank up the short side. That was a golden opportunity to find this kill, and he will get it. It's left to Nealon, and 910 gets his revenge on the wall bang.
That's the difference maker. It's 910 in this T side. He has won them every A round with this AWP. He has to hit an extremely hard shot, trading Isaac coming out long, and he absolutely nails it. Goes on the wall bang, the rotator in Nealon as well. Look at this one. That's a kill that breaks him into the bomb site, gives him the plant. He somehow survives the wall bang on 3 points of health. So many close margins. From Nealon's smoke shot missing by a centimeter to his wall bang, needing just a couple more points. And if these details go the way of gamerlegion, they just win the round. But Mongolz stay afloat still. I don't know how they're in this game, Harry. 11-4 down.
You've got to praise the resilience of this team here. What they've demonstrated in the second half. The fact that they built back into this one. I think it would have been so easy to be in your head, especially with the age of some of the players on this team, the lack of experience for a lot of players on this team.
They had nothing to lose in trying. And man, they've got the perfect call. They've got the perfect move. There is no one even watching this. akel's going to start running. They hear this, even if he's considering it. He's not yet in position. Trying to get back in time. It's the AWP battle again. Missed shot on the blind. Now he knows what's up. He's seen a couple, and he finally takes the AWP. That has been the burden here for gamerlegion. He is holding the bomb down. Molotov, but they skewer, and he takes a bite. Mazzino clears out toilets. The bomb needs to be picked back up, but they have so many enemies inbound.
Nealon up close. On the truck, swinging out. Can't hold on. It's all akel in this round. All 5 from akel. What a time! That AWP has been struggling to get involved. He has been shut down at the first light in so many of these rounds. But there, akel gets his moment, and it's that moment that brings gamerlegion back into the series in a very big way.
And here we are talking micro details, right? If he's 2 seconds later on that rotate out of toilets, Mongolz will just pounce on him and shoot him in the back of the head. But man, he times it to perfection. He holds down the bomb. He drops the AWP first, allowing him to re-peek. And he even finds a collat on top. Beautiful stuff for akel. And, it would have felt sad if gamerlegion lost this game and he went quiet on the CT side of Overpass after the series he's had. Because he's had a phenomenal series. And he puts on a clutch round right at the end of the day. And they were going to rush long, but they've been jump spotted. Now they can't.
It's forced to change of plan. Forced a change of route into the toilets, into Volt's domain. He's got Kios here, and then back in the site, Nealon there. It's a triple layered setup to get past here for the Mongolz. We've seen them navigate these stacks before. Can they do it again? 9-10 seems to think so. Him and Azteca open up the round, and the save call rings out from Nealon. They have to concede with money on the line, with the game on the line. They don't feel comfortable having this be the round. They bet it all on.
Oh my. The toilets pop. Azteca runs through that smoke with a well-placed flash over the top. And gamerlegion, 2 kills, and they're out of there like a light. Flicked down to the T-spawn. And no money for either team here. That was a must-win round. That was a tournament life on the line there for the Mongolz. And gamerlegion, same as much for them, just with a little more breathing room. They are decisive to get out of there in a 3-on-5. And even then, I mean, you definitely buy here, right? You drop 2 guns over, you still have 5 rifles, but it's going to be crunch time. Lose this, 14-14. It's gamerlegion who actually, to a degree, on the back foot when it comes to the money. They would be playing for OT. If Mongolz lose here, obviously they have to buy, but they have full rifles anyway.
It's like we said earlier on, man, it's the nature of this CT side. Sometimes closing from the CT side can be so hard for this reason.
You're not the one making the calls either. You're just receiving these, very last-second hits for the Mongolz. These very blind rounds where gamerlegion don't know what's going on, and suddenly there's 4 players running at you. Gotta credit the calling here for the Mongolz as much as we have for Nealon. Just staying alive in these T sides. My eyes are on Acor, up on long, supporting Volt on an aggressive push.
I just think he's going to get bypassed in this round.
Yeah.
They never wanted to meet him. The bomb has been outside of B since the round started. Blitz was there throwing that nade stack onto the boost. It felt like the decision was always going to be this B play, and that's going to leave them away from Acor. That's going to leave him with no say in this round. The top performer for gamerlegion will not have any dominion over how this one plays out. Not right now, anyway.
Volt's still cleared all of mid, but yeah, they're going. Acor needs to run now.
Oh, clean opener from Techno 4K. He leads the charge. He's the front man. Kios up close has got to do something miraculous here, and 2 kills might not be enough to justify it. They've saved in far worse spots. Volt making his way up through short. They want to give it a look in. They want to believe that they still have the chance to make something happen in this round. They put it all on the line with this buy. Acor hoping something is given. Some mistake is made, but not today. Mazzino tags up Volt on short. That should seal the deal on this. That should seal the deal on the equalizer. The AWP save's not even guaranteed for Acor. Trying to get out of there, just trying to survive. Volt's playing in right at the final few seconds, but it's just a kill. On his way out through the exit door, and it swings and it hits him as he leaves. 14-all. The Mongolz bring us to a tie game. Something feels different this time. They want their redemption on Overpass, and they're now at that point where they could get it.
And this entry from Techno to top it off as well. Triple B. gamerlegion knowing it's coming. Acor not far off of a rotation. And Techno just obliterates that first player on the entry. Kios tried his hand, he did his best, but they cancel the plot, they hunt him down, and this is what we were talking about, playing for overtime. gamerlegion must respect their opponent now. 3 guns, 1 save, 2 bought, anything to give them a chance, and they have been threatening in these rounds. They've come in with tricks, gimmicks, boosts, you name it. But right now, they are just relying on this Danish AWP presence.
These rounds get dangerous because everyone wants to make a hero play. Everyone wants to be involved early, and Acor very much foots the bill for that sort of character here.
When he's played aggressive, when he's played at the front of the pack and party towards playground, he has given up the kills.
Oh, 9-10. Over the head of his teammate, threading the needle. Extends this advantage even further. The Mongols can feel it. The stage is set for them to be the ones reaching 15 first, hitting that match and series point. As they move up close here, constantly they've been harassed by these Toilets players. They've got to be ready for it. There is this double setup. There is a second man, but Neelan's been dealt with. Gun retrieved. Techno with a missed shot, and now boxed in on the tree. But Volt, feeling the pressure, wants to try and up and leave, wants to try and get out of there. Kios, in the meantime, is going back and going to spot this man on short, but he can't win the fight. And so Volt is not in a position to win this round. He is backstabbed. He is iced out. It's the Mongols on to match point.
Elimination point for gamerlegion, and we were just crediting them how they recovered from that first map, the absolute beating that the Mongols were giving them, the T-sided nature of this series, and it has stayed true to the bitter end. 15-14 after 4 rounds on the CT side for the Mongols, and they are here trying to close it out and kick gamerlegion while they're down. This would be mind-blowing.
That last round was pretty conservative in terms of the money put into it. This was the real objective. If it was needed, that they would push through and try to go to overtime.
They're coming through.
They're going to pressure him. They're going to try and face him. This time he has support. Acor is not alone in this endeavor, and the nade doesn't quite follow up.
Hey, it did serious damage. Yeah, Mazzino's still standing. They give him the orb, but he's lit up 2 other players.
Man, like now the pressure kind of flips back the other way, right? The Mongols, who have gone on this incredible streak, they don't want to feel like this is all for naught. They know that when you hit OT, it kind of all goes out the window. You start again, you start anew. There's not going to be these limitations, these confines that they forced gamerlegion to have to operate in across this comeback if they hit OT. It was in overtime that their dreams were snuffed out by Heroic. And so they don't want to repeat that. They don't want it to get this close. 910 does not have his trusty AWP, and look at the play that Kios has made here. What a time to go for something as ballsy as this. Full pushing monster. They know it's going to be long. The Mongols have consistently run back these long plays. This time, Acor will find one on his AWP. gamerlegion know what's happening before it's even taken place. They feel clairvoyant. They just need these 2 kills to drag us into OT.
And 20 seconds for the Mongols to break their way in. They've got a crossfire to get through. 1 entry, but Blitz is a dead man. And gamerlegion hang on for dear life, skin of their teeth and dangling as we enter bonus play, and no relaxing. Remember those pauses? They disappeared a long time ago. Over 10 rounds for both teams. And now in overtime, it's a whole different game. You mentioned that Heroic matchup where it all fell apart yesterday. They held on for 1 overtime. It was 22-18 for Heroic on Overpass. The Mongols already getting flashbacks to that map. And gamerlegion just happy they're still here after this T side that Mongols have run on.
I mean, you said it really early on in this 3rd map. This has been a T-sided series, so it is important that the Mongols start strong in OT. And that's not a bad way for it to open. Neelan caught repositioning on a very peculiar timing, on a very peculiar move out through middle.
They really expected more resistance there. They didn't run after him at all. They could have chased him. They could have caught him crossing from toilets back to site. They just let him go.
You imagine if someone's out in the open like that, they probably have someone with them, right? So the pressure's not there immediately for the Mongols.
This is a threatening setup, and Acor's even going ahead of it. Techno won't be ready for a player this close. He's just cleared wide position. Oh, Acor's scope could let him down. He's so deep. Techno could walk into this right now and not be seen, but Acor adjusts. Rightly so, just in case. But the reload on the run.
Techno reacts. No time wasted in that decision. And what a time for him to find the opener. 5v4, turned 4v4 by the captain of Neelan. One player does elude capture from long. Bolt still floating around over in mid, but he's kind of lost in the sauce right now. He needs his teammates to apply a bit of pressure, get this Toilets player for the Mongols moving, and Techno doesn't do it. Blitz in the sight, battling back, doing what he can, but not enough as Kios farms them. 3 from him in the round, the hat trick for Kios. And gamerlegion, when we hit OT, find their first on the CT side.
gnarly round for Keels. He's been a little quieter in these last few rounds, right? Trapped down at B. We've seen so many top hits for Mongolz, just trading out, forcing Keels to save. After these A attacks, Keels comes in with a retake to save the day for gamerlegion. Beautiful. And Volt stalls so long, which wastes that toilet player's time. Means he can't help out in defending the site, defending the bomb. Just long enough. Acor, it's been a while, but he's back to Con, and, well, similar result. This time, at least, he doesn't die. But he does get tagged up significantly. Long has been consistently taken by the Mongols. I'll go back for it, this time with a flashbang.
They often haven't done this. Normally it's been the dry peaks to the bathrooms.
Ooh.
And even a molly. Oh,
he
they
ticked.
hear the tag. Volt's pressured forward, but he gets out with a kill.
How?
And Acor then moves in. An incredible support structure over at Long to have that trade there from the AWP and somehow turn what was an opening move for the Mongols against them. With Mazzino dead, no impact found from his B-lurk. It's just down to Blitz and Hasteka. Smoke falls in their face, and even as the spam finds one, will that be enough to bring you back into the fold here? Util goes out. Keels repositions. He prepares himself for the lengthy fight of this round, dropping through the connector. Now the bomb is away from the Mongols, and Hasteka is wounded already, finished off by Acor's AWP. gamerlegion, 2 in a row on the CT side of overtime.
Yeah, and again, going back to 11-4 and 12-3 halves, all series on T sides. So Mongols are in a lot of trouble right now. It might be a bit of deja vu from yesterday against Heroic. gamerlegion, second wind in overtime. When the money is no longer a factor, when they're not having to make these save rounds that they did so consistently to fund Acor's AWP. He's unleashing it right now. Back-to-back multi-kills for Acor. And a last-ditch attempt. They're done with playing slow and safe. 9-10 runs it to party. A position owned more by gamerlegion in the first half, it felt like. Acor leaves his teammate deep, deep, deep monster. And Mazzino's holding on. That great takes a lot of the oomph out of your shots. He won't be able to finish it off. They both call it fair game. Mazzino, even though he had a really good recovery towards the end of T side, he's been left kind of in a dead position, doing nothing but dealing with this aggressive B and rarely getting kills out of it. Hasteka careful, they're flashing forward on toilets, they catch him.
Yeah, and it feels like this long control has been so fruitful for the Mongols that they've been kind of hamstrung into having to play it as we moved into overtime. And gamerlegion, they've been ready for that every step of the way. Now they've cleared out mid, now they've cleared out long, and so they're guessing that it was high time that one of these B plays was attempted from the Mongols. They're going to start to scramble everyone down towards lower. 9-10, there's one kill, one step in the right direction. There's so much more is going to come up their way. Up close, Nealon, full blind, denies the presence of this bomb plant, and it keeps the pressure on the Mongols. One man still left in this round, it's Mazzino. He brings it down to the 1v1. Volt has been heard. They know about him over towards short, but that doesn't make this clutch any easier. Tap on the bomb, and Volt executes him. A flawless CT side from gamerlegion. They can feel that they are well and truly back in the swing of this game, and they want to end it now. Yeah,
3 shots for 1 round on their favored half as well. Their T side was lights out. The Mongols could not get comfortable. And that is a robbery of a round for Nealon. The push up, they kill one in the bridge smoke. They think it's over. They think they have that plant. Nealon completely catches them off guard. And the clutch up for Volt as well. The young Brit does it. 18-15. A huge opening kill from the CT AWP, but Acor looks for 30 frags.
Techno up close, dodging these flashes.
No.
Spammed out. And in the blink of an eye, what started as a bit of hope for the Mongols has so quickly gone sideways. Acor's AWP there to really drive it home. It slows down, but only for a moment. The silence is deafening here, and Blitz swinging out wide, doing everything he can to hold on to this B site, but it's a losing battle. Gamerlegion will get this bomb planted. The Mongolz grouping on upper, thinking that there's some trickery, that there's another layer to this, when that couldn't be further from the truth.
Oh, it's heartbreaking. The realization sets in, but even they know that this one should be too hot to handle. Fresh out of the oven, Gamerlegion 2 kills away from closing and eliminating the Mongolz, and despite all of their triumphs, all of their close games, the run against Heroic yesterday, it is all in vain. Overpass, overtime, lets the Mongolz down, and Gamerlegion look to eliminate them from the competition. IEM Cologne ends for the Mongolians. There is nothing Blitz can do, no time, no hope, no chance, and it's Gamerlegion who will go on to fight for one more match.
The saddest of endings for the Mongolz.